Hey, this morning I'd like to talk about something that's really important and a lot of us have a tendency to overlook, and that is putting things in writing. Always put things in writing. You know, it seems like the majority of the problems that I've had in the 30 years of business that I've been in is because I did not put things in writing. It's because I'm from the old school. If a handshake and your word, I believe you at that. And unfortunately, those days are gone. They really are. And when things go south, what happens? You know, the situation escalates and it just becomes worse between the two parties, and it becomes a he said, she said affair, and you don't want that, okay? It's always your name, it's always their name, and it just adds a lot of stress to both lives. That also brings me to my point about partnerships. People have asked me, hey Rob, what do you think about me getting into a partnership with someone else? I always say, hey, partnerships have a tendency to end friendships. So if you want to end a friendship, knock yourself out. Because there's always going to be certain decisions that both parties are not going to agree on, unfortunately. And it's very rare that partnerships actually work because you've got two different types of personalities. It's almost like a marriage. So if you want to get married again, if you're already married, you know what it's like, the work you have to put into a marriage. If you want to get into a working relationship marriage, hey, knock yourself out. Just remember there might be problems. Another place we might have a tendency not to put things in writing is like when we go into a home and there are certain conditions that we come across. Maybe there's some transition problems between hard surfaces and carpets. Maybe you need to warn the client about floors being slippery. The last thing you want to do is a client slipping and falling. And if you've got it documented, you've got it written down, that saves you a lot of trouble, and it also brings to their attention more so. So we have all of our clients sign off immediately before we get started to make sure that they understand that we're cleaning the carpets or we're cleaning the floors and that a slip hazard may be there. It also gives you the opportunity to go ahead and put the pricing in there. So there's no dispute after the job is done. So you see, everything comes down to writing because there's so many different implications, so many different issues that can arise, so many different liabilities that can arise, not to mention strained relationships and things of that nature if you don't put things in writing. Get a contract. Last story I'm going to tell you about is about 2 years ago, maybe a year and a half ago actually, I had called a couple of wand manufacturers and I asked them about making a wand, and I had about 5 or 6 great ideas I thought to put into a wand, and I went ahead and told both of them about one of my ideas. Probably wasn't a good idea. Last experience event that I went to, what did I find? I found, here in my shop now, I found both those things that I came up with were implemented into these 2 new wands. Now, granted, the wands did perform much better, there's no doubt about it, and all cleaners will benefit from it. But because I did not have it in writing, what happened? It's not what I'm going to do. Go back to the guys or to the manufacturer, say, listen, you didn't put this in there. That's just going to cause a he said, she said, and people are going to be upset. That's where it's going to go. So I cannot emphasize enough. Anything that you do, document it, put it in writing. Any agreements. Because let me tell you what, if you don't, it will come back to haunt you. And don't ask me how I know. I'm Rob Allen with Truckmount Forums. Have yourself a great day.